Hey ladies, I'm Aisha Watkins, founder of Women of Project Management, and this is the Women of Project Management podcast, where I have candid conversations with all my favorite women inside the Women of Project Management membership in audio. Please don't forget to subscribe and review everywhere you listen to podcasts. I'm Aisha Watkins, founder of Women of Project Management, and today we're going to be talking all things tech. We're going to be talking to Jamila Parham, and she is a powerhouse in the tech industry. So before we jump into our conversation about with Jamila, let me read her bio so I can let you know a little bit about who we're going to be talking to. She is an award-winning tech leader, STEM advocate, and daughter of Chicago, my hometown. Jamila received a Bachelor of Science from DePaul University in computer graphics and animation. She holds a Master's in Information Systems Management with a concentration in project management from Keller Graduate School. By day, Jamila is a award-winning tech leader delivering civic technology solutions for various municipal divisions with over 15 years of experience in the tech industry. She has led cutting-edge multi-million-dollar smart city projects, software development, infrastructure, and disaster recovery initiatives for both the public and private sector. Jamila currently serves as the technical program manager at Microsoft, leading business continuity and cloud computing initiatives. At all other times, she is affectionately known as the tech unicorn. Jamila is a public servant, tech ecosystem builder, and a champion of diversity and inclusion. She advocates on behalf of underrepresented and undervalued communities to address the lack of diversity in STEM. Jamila is the founder of the Tech Unicorn, a brand that empowers and uplifts hidden figures deemed unicorns in STEM through impact and outreach initiatives. The Tech Unicorn is a brand on a mission to amplify voices, advance marginalized communities, and inspire careers and entrepreneurship in STEM-related fields. And on top of all that, Jamila is also an Alpha Kappa Alpha. She is an AKA. So welcome, Jamila. Thank you for being here. So that was an impressive introduction. I also do know that there's a lot of amazing things that that you've done, that you've accomplished, that you've put your impact in the tech in the tech industry. So I thank you for that. So tell us more about you. Tell us how you got into project management and how that world marries with tech. How did that all just come about?
Well, first, I want to thank you for having me. Women of PM is a platform that I think is very much needed. Coming up in the industry, women in leadership wasn't always synonymous when it came to tech. So I think that you're carving out a space, especially to amplify voices and make sure that, women, whether it's in tech or project management in general, that they have a space to learn and grow and kind of explore those careers. So I'm very excited to be here to kind of express my experience and my background. I've been in tech about 15 years and doing project management about 10. So I started out doing video games and just like, what is this, type of background and 3D modeling and characters, and how do you create this? Can I actually major in this? And I just didn't see a lot of women and, people of color doing graphics, animation, and tech. And I went to school for it. And again, I didn't see anyone that looked like me that was going into these sort of fields. And that kind of goes into a little bit of, my nickname, the Tech Unicorn. I really did feel like a unicorn because I didn't see anyone like me. And they were like, being from the South Side of Chicago and a product of Chicago public schools, there was not a ton of tech curriculum. I had no idea where this path would lead me. It just was really trial and error. So, right after school, DePaul University, went into graphics, tried to start my own business with that. And I really felt like I wanted something more tangible. Graphics were great, but it was kind of artistic. I'm like, I need some numbers. I need some math behind this. So when I went to coding, I enjoyed that. But I started to explore careers more. And I'm like, well, what can I actually do? And, I got into tech. There was just this whole world of endless possibilities. And, at that point, I'm like, okay, well, let me go explore. So I did, graphics, I did coding. And then, I'm 33. So in '08, the market crashed. And I couldn't find a job. I mean, I'm like, is there something wrong with me? And, so I'm like, what can I do? I need to pivot. Like, I have these technical skills. How can I marry this together into something that I'm passionate about, that I can always be continuously learning? And I said, let me go back and get a master's and just find out what this is all about. Information systems was just endless, business continuity, and just going into that, exploring that and saying, hey, okay, this is cool. What about project management? What does it take to get something from start to finish? And that opened a whole new world for me. I started to see role models that, not as many, but more to start to look like me. And it kind of was like, okay, I want to know more about this. So, I jumped in and I started off in IT service management and, doing with help desk, tickets and resolving those type of issues for institutions. And I did that for a while, came in as like a junior project manager. So, those that are looking to get into the field, I would say, start as a business analyst, getting those entry level roles is very key. Business analyst and PM work very close together. Those skills are very, interchangeable. Days, I know you can relate. One day you're a business analyst, the next day you're a project manager. But really diving into, you have to be able to do both, right? And that's where it gets into technical project management. There's very different industries. You can be a construction project manager, but specifically the track that I went down, I think that, you want to hear a little bit more about is technical project management of information systems. And it's just a whole world, as I went through my career, information systems, tech management is not just one thing. So, there's IT service management, what I mentioned before, there's public safety systems, there's risk management information systems that deal with, claims and lawsuits that manages all that type of information. There's asset management systems and managing inventory. So I think any industry that you're interested in has that track. And then you can kind of make it all come together. Like, hey, I like retail. Where there's tech and retail, I can do project management, retail marketing, something like that. So it's kind of like that triangle, pick what's the interest and, isolate the type of technology, then put project management on top of it. And there's a place in every industry for that.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I mean, it's a lot of people, sometimes they think of tech and they only think maybe one industry, or they don't understand that it relates to everything. And I also like that you set up like how you started. Like I started as a project coordinator. I was a business analyst, and those roles are really important too, because it's the foundation, and it's kind of a good way to kind of put your toe in to see if you even like it. Because that's what you're going to have to do. You have to be dynamic in those roles, no matter what industry you're in, because there's always going to be different things. But I think it's like a certain personality type that really goes towards those roles, because, for me, if I wasn't in project management, I would probably be bored years ago, because I don't want to do the same thing day in and day out. I want a framework. I want to feel like but it's like, you like solving the world.
Control, but it's like, it's just so much fun every day. I think I like what you said, especially, I started out as a junior PM. That can be, just coordinating at a certain level, but those seeking to get the PMP certification, all those are project hours work, whether you feel like you're leading a large multi-million-dollar program or whether you're leading a 20-hour small project. Log those project hours early and often so you could qualify for your certification quickly. Yeah, it's a win-win. You get to see, okay, do I like this? But then you're earning hours. So a lot of people say, well, I think I want to get, certified in whatever it is, even if it's the PMP, whatever it is. And they'll always say, well, I don't have enough hours. And then I'll ask them about their education. I'll ask them about their like experience. I'm like, you had the hours years ago. I mean, a long time ago. But I think a lot of people think it has to be these grand gestures. It has to be like a multi-million-dollar project. They have to be the lead. And they just have a totally different idea of what it is. And it's like, no, if you're sitting even at that table, you're not leading that project, but you're a part of that project team. Those are your hours. Those are still your hours. You're sitting there, you're learning, you're educating yourself. So I like that you said that.
So I know you've had a lot of different dynamic roles. You've done a lot of different dynamic things and throughout your career. And I'll just touch on a few because we'll be here all day if we go through all of it. I mean, I would love to, but it really is amazing experience that you have. But what about, I know, just because we're both Chicago girls, can you tell everyone about your role when you work for the city of Chicago and the types of projects that you worked on? Because you did some pretty amazing things when you were
Thank
there.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think there's, with a lot of women starting out or anyone who wants to pursue project management, it's important to explore many industries. I started out in private sector. It was like cutthroat. I was like, and fresh out of school, you green.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
La la la, here, walking in with your lunchbox.
Right.
To a room with a bunch of wolves. I'm like, oh my God, it was real. Like,
Yeah.
so, I went into, private sector for a while, starting out after internship. And that experience was so intense. And I kind of was like, oh my gosh, this is very hostile. I encountered, some stereotypes and, even in there, I think I was maybe like 25. I walked into a room. They're like, oh, we're waiting for the project manager.
Oh, I've had that before.
Wait for the project manager. Like, okay, I'm in the room. I'm actually the project manager for this engagement.
Right.
Start in about 10 minutes. Go grab yourself a cup of water. And
Right. No, I've had that before. I've definitely had that before. I'm like, nope, that's not me. Like, I'm the project manager. I'm not the whatever, but.
So it's like you really want to analyze and dissect that. Like, why is that? So I think it's important for us to have this conversation and amplify that, we are in these spaces. We're leading these type of programs. But back to your question, private sector, I'm like, okay, let me try something different. And I'm like, I really want to do projects to impact everyday life that has, from the, someone like a tourist and someone that lives here and something that impacts, Chicago and beyond. So I'm like, let's go to the public sector. I've always been a public servant, really rooted in my community. How can I really give back? So I went to the city of Chicago, first CTA. I did some pretty cool projects at CTA. I'm like, let's keep this going. So was in about public sector for about 5 years. And city of Chicago, it was this exciting, like, and you think public sector has like some boring project, which it is. Yeah. There are some boring projects like, I'll do this one more time. But thankfully, I had the opportunity to manage the smart lighting program for the city of Chicago. And what was so cool about that is we were the second largest rollout of smart lights in the world at that time. The only one that was before us was Seoul, Korea. And, their technology is very sophisticated. Yes. So that's saying something, we had a lot to learn. And it basically was about rolling out about 500,000 smart lights around the city of Chicago. And it pretty much promoted safety to be a little bit more well lit, to prevent violence and, that type of thing. It also was to, improve our environment. There were originally those high pressure sodium lights were a little harsh and harmful for the environment. I think they were like 30, 40 years old, like older than all of us. So, but it was very, very innovative because it kind of rooted into the, Internet of Things and what it means to have assets and smart assets. And, if a light goes out, it can detect that it's out and send a notification. The work group to come out and repair the light. So that was a very intense project. It, had a large budget of, $50 million and a portion for the actual infrastructure, a portion for the technology. So I was managing the technology part, but, reporting all the way up the chain to maybe, the second from the mayor, high visibility projects. So, those types of engagements can be pretty scary. Like I was like, oh my God, can I do this? But you just think about when you're managing a project, no matter the budget, if it has an extra zero or one less zero, you manage the same excellence that you can use the same principles and tools, and you can do it. Don't let the numbers scare you. Don't let the scope scare you. Don't let the team members or the consultants or the, subcontractors, don't let them scare you. You know what I mean? Do your part, but also realize as the project manager, you're considered the quarterback. You're going to live and die by the, cost budget, but still understand that it takes a team. You know, I've learned that in some organizations, it seems like the project manager is solely like, it's all on you.
Yeah.
Like, you have to,
To listen to the rest of this conversation, join us inside the Women of Project Management membership at womenofpm.com. Thanks for listening.